Here we go. It's episode 2. So we're going to start by taking all the pots off to be able to get the plate off. And once we get the plate off, we'll also be able to have access to all the cards for the inputs and things. And once this is removed, I'll have full access to the board and won't have to pull the board out of the chassis. So let's start by removing little lockdown nuts that are on these selectors and balance and pots. For this, we're going to use 3 different nut drivers that I'm going to pull here from my tool case. We're going to use a 1/2 inch, a 7/16, and a 5/16. There's 3 different sizes on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start loosening all these up. So we've got all the 1/2 inch ones out. Let's grab the 7/16. Start doing the other size ones. Missed one. All right. There's only a couple threads on them, not many threads, not like they're going anywhere anyway. Also, the Urei 1620 was meant for permanent installations, not for mobile DJing or gigs and things like this, which is the way we used to use them a lot of times. But they really don't hold up as well as a lot of different mixers for mobile gigs and etc. So, but anyway, all right. So let's get this. Now we're down to the 5/16, and let's see. That one kind of stayed there. Try to get this out. Got it. Hopefully you can see all that. Okay, and we still do have the headphone jack left. Spinning. There we go. All right. Alrighty. So I've got that. Get my Phillips screwdriver. Undo the faceplate, and the faceplate should come forward. Got a screw gun, but these screws are so short and they're anodized, don't want to scratch them up or damage the screw. So see this will come forward now. And faceplate is loose. Oh, forgot a switch. Let's do the last switch. How'd I miss that? All right. Pull that forward. So here we go. So these are the phonos. We're going to pull these out. Hopefully spin this around here so you can see it. So this is phono 1. And I'm going to label these real quick here as I pull them off, just because I want to be able to return them to where they are. So this is number 2. I've got some numbers here. If it cooperates. There we go. Put the number 2 there. I don't know if you can see that. All right, and so what I'll do is let me pull off the aux 1, and you can also see that there's no confusing the phono from the line, okay? So the line cards and pots also have a selector where the phono has the third knob here. So as you can see, that's how you can differentiate the line numbers from the phono. So I've gone ahead and labeled phono 2, even though I didn't need to, because they're going to be interchangeable. But I want to be able to return it the way it was. So this is aux 1, and I'm going to look for a number 1 on here, and I'm going to put a number 1. So I know that's aux 1. And we're going to go ahead and pull this. So this has got a little bit of a catch on it, and I am going to use a flathead screwdriver to loosen that up. It's still going to be caught on there because it's soldered on, but I want to be able to pull the ribbon cable off. So kind of pull that back a little bit. So that was 1. This is going to be 2. Let me get a number 2 here. If you can see that. 2. Or actually, that's 4. Right. It's aux 4 right now, but it's in position 2. So that's fine. I don't need to be that technical with this. When I put it back together, I'll know which one's which. And this is 3. Last but not least, 4. ribbon wire is free. And to finish freeing up the faceplate, I'm going to pull the, going to unsolder the LED, the front panel LED here. So I don't know if you could see right here. So what I'm going to do is, there's a gray and white wire, and it's actually labeled gray and white. So I'm going to spin this around. I'm going to grab my solder pencil here, and my desolder plunger here. Pull this out here. Push this in. Heat this up. Better. All right. So now the LED is free from the board. I'm going to put this aside. I'll give this a good cleaning as well before all is done. And what we'll do is now we will start removing the channels here, and if you could see, these just plug right into the main board. So got one, got two, 3, 4, this is the headphone, this is master, bass and treble. So for right now, we may just swing all these over. And now we pretty much have access here to the board where we can start soldering and desoldering. Okay. I'll put this up here, and just going to pause for a second and get this situated a little bit better so we can all see this. So hang tight. All right, here we go. So you can see here, we're going to start desoldering the resistors R1 through 12, which are 100K resistors. And I'll swing this around so you can see where they are, because you're only going to be able to see one aspect of it. But these are the different 100K resistors for each channel. So I don't know if you could see that with without my fingers being in the way, but these are right here. So what you're going to see from your perspective is the back of the board, and we're just going to start desoldering them and removing them and then replacing them. So from this aspect, they're in pairs, so it's going to be these pair right here. I'm going to put on my cheaters here. Vision isn't as good as it used to be. Get a little more light on here. plunger. Move this over a little bit. Hopefully you can see that okay. That is this. Okay. So as you can see, got the first two resistors out. And we're just going to go ahead and start removing the other ones. They're all going to be the same value. So from that was from phono 1, phono 2, aux 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll go ahead and I'm going to do one more just for sake, and then I'll pause it, I'll remove the other ones, and then we'll fast forward to the next step, if that's okay. So let's, just so you guys can see this again. So let me get this out of the way. It's just kind of challenging here. I've never done this while trying to film, so this is a little bit of a challenge. It's a lot harder doing it this way than just doing the job itself, but this is good that I'm able to do it like this, and also to be able to share the experience with other people who might not have been able to ever see this, or maybe a little bit curious about soldering and desoldering and repairing electronic gear or DJ sound equipment, etc. This is what I did in my prior life before Alex 2.0, and this still remains a big part of my life, and one of my passions is working on sound gear and repairing and etc. Okay. And that is the second set. So this is the second set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to go ahead and just jump ahead and do all these. You guys saw the first two, how they were done. I'm going to pause this for a second, finish that up, and we'll get right back to you. All right, we're back. So I went ahead and got these started, and if you could see here now, I've already stuffed the resistors in for most of the channels. I left the last two just so you can see how those are done. Let me bring that and give you a close-up here. Let me get the iron out of the way so you can kind of see what's going on here. So those are the different connections. I don't know if you could see the lead sticking out there, but also these are going to be the resistors right here. The brown ones there. Right there. So I left the bottom two to do, show you how that's done. But I thought real quick, have a Mr. Wizard minute here. So these resistors are 100,000 ohm resistors. And I've got my multimeter here. And I'm just going to show you how that, just so you could check it. So this is one of the ones I pulled out. We're going to go ahead, and there's no polarity on resistors. We're just going to put it right across, and it's measuring exactly 100K, which is great. It means it wasn't defective, but it doesn't mean it wasn't a problem either. So these are the new ones here. We're going to measure that, and that's going to measure the same as well, 100, and you can see the designation, it's 100K. So hold on a second, back. So I'm going to go ahead and bend these, and just to kind of show you that there is a definitive distance between the bends, and there's a specialized board that you can use with different measurements, just so you could see that, because the designation on the board is a specific type of space or designation. So but luckily this is pretty forgiving, and if you eye it out with a needle nose plier, you can go ahead and just kind of eye it. You see what I'm doing here? So kind of bent it like that. We'll do the other one same way. So now we've got these bent. Now I'm going to go ahead and stuff this in. And you can see right down here, you should be able to see the leads pop through. Get this out of the way. Don't need the meter anymore. You can see how I'm pushing that through. Now, let me get these old resistors out of the way. Spin this around so you can see what I'm doing here. So this is right here. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of push that in there. Okay, pull it a little bit, give a little bit of a tug so it's snug. A little bit of a trick or a tweak is, once you're doing this, inserting the resistors, or any component for that matter, you kind of bend the legs a little bit so that it'll hold it in place, because when you go to solder it now, it could move out or back out, but if you kind of give it a little bit of a bend, it's more of a possibility that it'll stay. So now let me get my cheaters back on. Soldering iron. You always want to make sure soldering iron tip is clean. I don't have the metal sponge or the Brillo that you're supposed to use to clean, so I just kind of scrape it off with the screwdriver. Again, just the signs of a hack doing it, but it works. So now I'm going to come here. What's real important is that you make sure that the connection is well heated, and hopefully you can see that here. You keep your iron on the pad and start feeding a little bit of solder, and then you can actually see it pull in the solder, absorb the solder. You want to hold it on there for a couple seconds to make sure that the solder actually flows, that it gets so hot that it becomes liquid form, and just kind of flows around the connection. That's going to guarantee a good contact. We'll do this one. Hold it there for a second. Last one. Hold it there. And we're done. So we've done 100K resistors for all the channels, which is going to be, was going to be a big part of it. Still a lot more to go though. So let me just show you again what we did here. We're just all, profile view is good. So these are all the components we just pulled in. And pull this back so you can get a better perspective. And these, let me get a pointer here. So these are the resistors that we just replaced, all these brown ones here, and they're all the same value. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And I think that's going to do it for episode 2. Episode 3, we're just going to kind of do a little bit more of the same. I think I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead and start doing some of this so that this way we can only hit on certain parts and just quick synopsis of what's being done, because I think this might just get a little old for some people. But anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. If there's any comments or criticisms or whatever, hit me up or leave it in the comments. I'll see you in episode 3.